Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair star as two parents to a couple of kids in a film that's all about parents going a little bit wacko. For some unknown reason, parents everywhere are attacking their children and attempting to murder them. And so it really centers on the two kids as they try to figure out any kind of way to survive their parents. This was a movie that really looked interesting when I was watching the trailer. The concept just looked really cool. It almost felt like M. Night Shyamalan type of movie. So let's get into it. First we look at the people category and looking at acting, which was okay, nothing really great. It is what it is. You don't really expect too much out of it. Acting gets 1 out of 2. Characters, I feel like they could have attempted to make the characters just a little bit more memorable than they are because they never really get to that point. Characters gets 1 out of 2. Casting wise, I gotta give this full points. Well, first of all, Selma Blair is pretty crazy in her own right in some of her own movies, so that's great. Nicolas Cage is a meme on the internet for being crazy. So I gotta give this 2 out of 2. When it comes down to who's important and who's adding to the roles and who's adding to the plot, for the most part, all of the kids blend together and all of the parents blend together as they're all basically doing the same thing. I'll only give that 1 out of 2. Chemistry, this is another one of those things where I feel like they could have easily done a little bit better. There's a brother and sister duo, there is a boyfriend and girlfriend duo, there is the parents together, there are the parents with the kids. And for the most part, the best chemistry comes down to some of those flashback scenes when it comes down to the parents together. When it comes down to the parents loving their kids. Those flashbacks have better chemistry than most of the movie, and I can't just take that and say it's good chemistry because that's just not enough. Chemistry gets 1 out of 2. Writing score. I feel like they tried a little bit with the dialogue. I mean, there's this one thing where they're like, it's the all saw. It saws all. They kind of repeat that over and over. It's the all saw. It saws all. Saws all. That's probably the most memorable line there is in the whole movie. 1 out of 2 for that. It's focusing on children trying to escape their parents trying to kill them, and it's just that alone. So balance gets 2 out of 2. The actual story is okay. It's not deep. It's not really meaningful. It's just fun. 1 out of 2. I do consider an original movie. Parents killing their own kids is a very interesting concept that I don't think I've really seen before. Originality, 2 out of 2. Interesting, yes. The trailers and advertisements definitely interested me, and while I was watching, I was pretty interested to see how it actually turned out, how they would explain things. So, 2 out of 2 for interesting. Visuals. I think the visuals could have been better. Visuals is typical to me. I'm only going to give that 1 out of 2. Directing and editing kind of come hand to hand in this one because when it comes down to the director, they definitely had an idea in mind what kind of theme they wanted the movie to feel like. They did a really good job with it because it really came down to everything. The directing, the editing, even the music. They all came together rather well in what the director wanted for his storytelling. Directing gets 2 out of 2 for that. The editing I also wanted to mention, like right in the beginning, you notice a lot of editing putting together. Like with the intro credits, there's a lot of editing there. With the flashbacks blending in with reality, lots of editing done there. And overall, the editor was doing a very good job throughout the movie, and I noticed it right off the bat. So 2 out of 2 for editing. It was as advertised, no false advertising there. This is exactly what I expected. It's 2 out of 2 for that. Music, it's all like 70s, 80s, like old music that they're using to help the tone of the movie feel both dark and light at the same time. But I think it worked really well, and I think they used it to their advantage for the most part, and I will give that full point and say 2 out of 2. Narrative arc score. Introduction was pretty good. You get acquainted with primarily the main parents and the main kids, but also some of the other kids and their parents as well. Introduction, 2 out of 2. Inciting incident is when the crap hits the fan and parents start killing their younglings. 2 out of 2. Obstacles, this is the part where it's kind of like cat and mouse and people are running away from the parents trying to survive. Obstacles gets 2 out of 2. Climax, definitely a culmination of everything between, feels stronger than anything else. 2 out of 2. But it ends right there. There is no real calming down moment or returning to a new norm. It just kind of ends abruptly. And so Falling Action gets 0 out of 2. Entertainment score. I do consider this a rewatchable movie. So rewatchability gets 2 out of 2. fun experience. Like I said, it might not get all the technical things right, but it is a fun, exciting movie that's just a blast to watch. 2 out of 2 for that. I have zero impulse to buy, and I don't really have any impulse to talk about it other than this review either, so 0 for that. Does it suck the audience in? It may be a fun movie and exciting to watch, but the latter half of the movie sometimes feels like it's dragging on. It feels like the movie's a lot longer than it is, especially for a movie that's short. The beginning half, yes. The latter half, not so much. I'll give this half points and say 1 out of 2. Especially score. IMDb lists this off as a horror thriller. So let's look at those genres. As a horror movie, I wouldn't really consider it scary. It is horror adjacent in the way that these are parents killing their kids, which is extremely disturbing for a lot of people. So I'll at least give it half points and say 5 out of 10. As a thriller movie, I do consider it thrilling. I had a good time with it for the most part from beginning to end. I will say 10 out of 10 for that. This is a Nicolas Cage movie. There's so many other Nicolas Cage movies I'd rather see than this, but he does a good job of being crazy, which is kind of what I want to see from him in movies nowadays for some reason. I don't know. I'll give him half points and say 5 out of 10. Now, the concept of parents killing their kids was so intriguing, and I wanted them to give some kind of logical explanation as to what's going on. They even put some ideas out there in the movie. They give you the ideas. They put the ideas out there, but they don't really do anything with them, and I'm a little disappointed in the way that they handled that. So for the most part, I'll only give this half points and say 5 out of 10. Is the movie halfway decent? In my personal opinion, yes. I had a whole heck of a lot of fun watching it. I think the filmmakers made the movie that they intended to make overall. I'll give this 10 out of 10. If we add up all those points, we get 71 out of 100 possible stars, 71%, which basically means the movie's decent, not the best ever, but so far it is the highest scored 2018 movie I've seen so far. But I really haven't seen very many of them. So, guys, tell me what you thought about Mom and Dad in the comments down below, and you can follow me on Twitter and track.tv at the username IAMDWG. And as always, on YouTube, you can subscribe to me, hit that like button, and hit that bell to be notified when I come out with my next movie review, which will be, of course, next week. Guys, have a good weekend, and until I see you guys again, peace out.